Architecture, to me, is really the opportunity to challenge your creativity because every project is different.
I guess architecture is a way of giving people what they need.
I think that architecture it's big art.
I'm Ralph Johnson. I'm director of the School of Architecture. Been at MSU for a little bit over 30 years, and in relationship to this project, the Accessory Dwelling Units, I'm the director of the Community Design Center. An ADU is short for Accessory Dwelling Unit, and Accessory Dwelling Units are small. In the case of Bozeman, 600 square feet is the maximum size housing units. They have a living room, typically a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen area, and the purpose of them is really to create greater density in the city. And it might be rented to a young professional who's moved into town who can't afford to buy a house but doesn't want to live in an apartment or live in the equivalent of a dorm room. They moved out of that and they want to have their own life. Might be occupied by a service worker. They're really important for that group of people because you could live downtown for significantly less monthly payment and be close to work. So if you're working in a restaurant or as a salesperson in one of the businesses, having an ADU available allows you to live close to work and perhaps not even own a car. And it makes that $12 or $15 an hour job much more palatable, so to speak, because your monthly rent costs are significantly less.
I think the biggest challenges for us throughout this process was actually creating the building construction documents, and we were working with contractors, working with the city of Bozeman to really get these right. So there was a lot of process as to really dialing in these building documents and doing so in a way that's available for future use. So they're not necessarily being built right now, but the biggest issue was really getting them to the point where there was no issues, to the point where they could actually be submitted to a contractor.
I think it's working with the city has been, exceptionally great for all of us. I think that if we were just to go out as architects and work at a firm and someone says, hey, you need to go to the city and do this, you're gonna be like, well, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So, but now, if I go to a firm and I've done e-submittals, I've gone through building, I've gone through planning, and I've actually know some people down, in the city now, so I can go and talk to them. And now I feel like I'm a step ahead.
I think I'm most excited about the students' professional development. Not only are they meeting with planners, they met with the chief building official, Bob Risk, and they're really getting a hand-holding through this whole process. So I'm excited when they go out, they're able to put these things on their resume and be confident with the process. So I'm excited with how we've been able to introduce them with that. And here tonight with the DRB, just them talking with other design professionals really gives them that confidence in the process.
So I particularly like this kind of work. I find the students really like it because it's such a change of pace for them. And it's students like everyone else, well, what am I getting out of this? They get some very pragmatic learning outcomes that they see how they can directly apply those when they're looking for a job.
Them letting us work with the city is pretty big deal. But it's given me a lot of insight on what actually happens. They're kind of fast forwarding our process a little bit, but to see planning and then e-submittals online, how to do that, and they're working with us so that we can get it right. But it's been a really good experience for later on, so something positive that we can use as we continue in our schooling and later getting jobs.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fun challenges. We have students who have never dealt with zoning analysis, building analysis, and so Danielle and I have been in the studios kind of introducing them to that and just Introducing a code when you've been on a design-based studio can be a little overwhelming, so we've been trying to dissect that into small, chewable pieces and working with the students with that, and then getting them through the design process in a semester has been an effort the whole city has been behind. So lots of great challenges, but nothing we've not been able to overcome.
In studios within the university, typically students work alone. But in this case, we had 3 students on each project, and they had 2 clients that they had to design for. So that made it impossible for one student to do anything by themselves. They had to do it in a collaborative manner.
We're really learning to communicate with each other and really learning to build off of what each of us has been doing. And in the beginning, there was really a lot of like, oh, I'll do this and you do this, and then we'll kind of vote. And it's really been we've been trying to learn to trust each other and learn to accept, like, oh yeah, you do this, and then I'll build off of that, and we're going to save so much time, and it's going to be a much better process, and we're going to agree with each other a lot more than we would if we kind of each did everything individually and then compared them.
I got assigned 3 wonderful students who all have different perspectives. One of them does some building, so he knows a lot about the structural side of things. And one just loves to design, and one loves interior space. And so it's a great combination. It's just really nice to see the city and the school and landowners working together.
In this case, it's a real project. The students, the city, found a way to identify and have cooperate with us 6 different individuals who had a real site, a real house, and the students interviewed them to find out what their real demands were or aspirations for it.
It's great to see the excitement in the homeowners who have volunteered their sites and just the need that there is all around Bozeman. So I'm hoping that all of the efforts of these people will plant the seed, and we're really going to be looking at, since the new UDC has opened up some different restrictions and we're hoping to increase the infill, we're going to be tracking to see if these efforts are proving to be successful.
It was really overwhelming. I mean, how do you permit it? How do you work through all of the issues with fire and water and sewer and, you know, just kind of those logistical issues? And then when I realized in this project that it's really comprehensive, I'm really impressed by that, in that they deal with all of those issues as well as the actual design.
You take a lot that typically has a single-family house on it, and you add an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, to that lot, and now you've got 2 residences on the same piece of property. What's wonderful about this is that from the city's point of view, all of the services, the sewer, water lines, power lines, bus lines, maintenance of the streets, all of those are already in place for the original unit. And with the accessory dwelling unit, in essence, you're getting 2 houses being served by the same infrastructure.
Whether it's helping Bozeman with this new ADU project to help with housing options within the city.
I think that working with the city and actually getting hands-on and actually talking to them one-on-one and going through the whole process of e-submittals, I think I've learned a lot from this.
It's always rewarding to work with communities, whether it's the city or another kind of nonprofit, for me. And I think always for the students. It's particularly rewarding to me because I like to see how creative the students can be, but at the same time fulfilling the limitations that clients present, that city regulations present, because I think within those boundaries, the tighter the boundaries, sometimes the more creative the students can be.